Hi there, welcome back. We'll be dissecting the round 3 team lists. The draw this week. Round 3 kicks off with Thursday night footy with last year's grand finalists battling it out where Melbourne Storm host Penrith Panthers at Amy Park. Friday night doubleheader kicks off at Go Media Stadium with Sydney Roosters visiting New Zealand Warriors at home, while in the second encounter is a fierce local Queensland derby between two rivals where Brisbane Broncos will host the North Queensland Cowboys at Suncorp Stadium. Super Saturday kicks off with Cronulla Sharks at Sharks Stadium against the visiting South Sydney Rabbitohs. Second fixture sees the Redcliffe Dolphins at home at KO Stadium against the West Tigers, and concluding our Super Saturday with Gold Coast Titans at home at Seabus Super Stadium against the visiting Newcastle Knights. In our Sunday doubleheader sees the Parramatta Eels at home at CommBank Stadium hosting the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, and our final fixture of the round sees the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles home at Four Pines Park against the visiting Canberra Raiders. St George Illawarra Dragons are on bye this round. Melbourne fresh off the bye, Craig Bellamy has altered his backline with Will Warbrick replaced by Grant Anderson on the wing. Lazarus Valapu keeping his place on the bench for now. Ivan Cleary's Panthers team was shocked by the Roosters. Dylan Edwards was injured in the defeat with the star fullback suffering a groin injury. In his place, Dane Laurie will start at the back. Isaiah Papali'i was a late omission, is back this week on the bench. Brad Schneider has grabbed the vacant utility spot. Andrew Webster stuck solid last week with the same Warriors team who went down to a disappointing defeat in Vegas and was rewarded with a much improved performance as the Warriors flipped the script on the Sea Eagles. The coach has named the same 17 again. The Roosters stunned the NRL with a gritty win over the Panthers and will now welcome back some representative stars. Spencer Leniu and Victor Radley will rejoin the starting side. Lindsay Collins has been named on the bench after being ruled out last week. The Broncos were well beaten by the Raiders. The new coach hasn't hit the panic button though after naming an unchanged side. North Queensland slipped to a second successive loss last week. Braden Burns picked up a hamstring injury during the defeat to the Sharks and has been replaced on the wing by Robert Darby, while Jake Clifford replaces Tom Duffy in the halves and Jeremiah Nanai has received an immediate recall onto the bench. Cronulla Sharks picked up their first win of the season in round 2 after a commanding victory over the Cowboys. Craig Fitzgibbon has named an unchanged 17, while Rabbitohs Jack Whiten returns to the backline after serving his one-match ban to provide a boost to the unbeaten Bunnies. Jamie Humphries booted the winning field goal against the Dragons to continue his impressive start to life at Redfern. He will retain the number 7 jersey. It's 2 defeats in a row for Christian Wolf's Dolphins, although he has avoided the urge to make changes with the coach naming an unchanged side. After a poor start to their clash against the Eels, Benji Marshall's West Tigers side finally clicked into gear to record an impressive win over their rivals. Unsurprisingly, the coach has named an unchanged side. The Titans went down in their first game of the season, so Des Hasler will be looking for a response from his side. Alofiana Khan Pereira suffered a hamstring strain which has sidelined him for the next month. Tony Francis will replace him on the wing. Jameen Jolliffe has dropped out of the squad due to a calf complaint with Isaac Fasuamaleo replacing him. Knights, Leo Thompson has been ruled out due to a knee injury and Kai Pearce-Paul was suspended with Brodie Jones to start at prop, Adam Elliott at lock and Thomas Cant coming onto the bench. Eels, Josh Addo-Carr is in the mix to make his Parramatta debut against his former club. Ronald Volkman has dropped out of the side, with Dean Hawkins starting at halfback. Bulldogs, Bailey Hayward is set to start at 5'8" for the first time after Matt Burton was ruled out with a knee injury. William Kikau will also miss the clash, Sidili Tupouniua preparing to start in his place. Slight changes for the Sea Eagles with Sasiwa Taukeaho returning from a knee injury. Fullback Tom Tabojevic, centre, Tolu Kula and skipper DCE all named despite last week's injury scares, while Raiders Zach Hoskin has been ruled out with a broken hand, with Morgan Smithies moving to the starting side in his place and Trey Mooney added to the bench. While Xavier Savage is set to return from suspension.